seen Rise of Skywalker. Do I need to see Rise of Skywalker?
I don't know. Do you have the strength to sit through it?
You recommend it?
No, I would not, actually.
Why not?
It's a terrible movie.
It's got
Because they have no source material.
Exactly.
But I heard it has the first ever gay kiss.
Oh, it only has the first ever gay kiss in America.
Oh, wow, really? Shit, nice.
They took that shit out in Iran like a day later. And then the day before Christmas, they took it out in Singapore. And now everybody's catching on to it today, the 26th.
Man, it's almost like these companies don't really care for that and care more about the money.
I would be led to believe that Disney is motivated by money, I think, yes.
But these people are telling me, like, this is great for us.
Well, they said it was groundbreaking until it got taken out from Singapore, and then all of a sudden it was just like the barely there lesbian kiss was removed. So it's obvious the media plays shit up when it's in Disney's favor, and then when something goes bad, they kind of play it down. Like, oh my God, Star Wars first ever gay kiss. This is heroic. Next day, oh, the little gay kiss was removed. No big deal.
What are you going to do about it, they say? Bygones be bygones.
Gay for pay.
Gay for pay. Do you want to do that video then?
I guess we could.
Fuck.
Let me see if I wrote this shit down, because I really forgot most of the movie. Like, these Star Wars movies are not fucking memorable at all.
What about that time when Rey did that thing, and that thing did that
She did so
other
many
thing?
fucking things that you're being funny and slightly facetious. But I can name everything she did that was a thing.
Was it a cool thing?
It depends on what your mindset is. If you're a normal human being, you're kind of like, oh, okay, the Force. If you actually know Star Wars, you're like, she didn't train for this. And if you're like a super liberal leftard of epic proportions, yes, queen, she is the Force. And if you're an uppity feminist, then Rey sucks because her power is defined by her being the granddaughter of Palpatine, and for some reason this like led to a woman having conniption and crying on the floor.
Wait. So first they're happy that she's powerful, and then all of a sudden it's irrelevant that she's powerful because her powers came. Like, what?
Since she's the granddaughter of Palpatine and she has his power, quotation marks, for some reason this affected a woman on Twitter so much that she literally had like crying and heaving on the floor. I just don't know, man. Your generation's just fucked. That's the best way I could put it. Do I have to read you this tweet?
Yes, please do.
Because I took the liberty of taking it down.
I want to hear it.
Okay, here we go. I wonder if I need to read this whole thing because it's that stupid.
Can you snort while you do it?
No, I can't actually. I can't snort at all. I don't know how DSP does it without killing his throat. I think the person done dirtiest by the malignant stain of the movie was Rey. Everyone was done dirty by this, but Rey's character was destroyed in the most horrifyingly sexist way possible. I mean, Ben Solo's dead, but at least he got an arc? ? After years of desperately trying to convey how important she was to the other women, after years of actively saying that women can be more than the men we're related to, that we deserve character arcs as full as a man's, this is what we get. The infantilization of a dog in my face. Isolation, quotation marks, his power. Do you guys even view us as full people? After digesting this film for a few days, I don't think so. It's one of the reasons why I broke down into an ugly sob so hard I was bent in half on the floor last night. I was howling like someone was dead. I kept screaming, it hurts.
Really?
Do you need confirmation and proof of this tweet, sir?
I do not need confirmation and proof of that tweet, because knowing Twitter, it's probably true.
Yes.
Alright, well, hit me with the good stuff of, like, or at least Hit me what you think of the movie. Give me your opinion, good sir. Give me your opinion, Jedi.
It is an insipid, absolute clusterfuck from beginning to end. Within the first 7 minutes, you realized that the film was riding off of nostalgia and having no ideas. When it reached the point where Poe Dameron was like, we're going to force skip black guy whose name I can't remember. Not force skip, Lightspeed jump. They literally start going through Lightspeed and then coming out of Lightspeed over and over again, like hitting the gas and then hitting the brakes on your car immediately afterwards. It made absolutely no sense theoretically. And we then veered off from science fiction to science fantasy. That is how the entire movie was shot. I'll say this about J.J. Abrams. He can make things look cool and have interesting camera movements and whatnot. But at the end of the day, J.J. Abrams couldn't write his way out of a rep paper bag. In fact, I don't think he could write a check after having dinner. That's how just creatively bankrupt this man was. I think this film is a perfect amalgamation of the entire series as a whole. An endless nightmare of gender politics and not knowing exactly what to do. Which, when you really think about it, sums up the left perfectly. The fucking liberal left has no idea what they want, no idea what they're doing. They're just spitballing socialism, communism, capitalism bad, but I need an iPhone. Gender politics. Please don't clap. It makes me anxious.
Jazz hands.
Exactly. Jazz hands, please. Did you assume my gender while I was jazz handing? It was horrible, really. Like, nothing made sense. At one point, Rey is like in... This is a great part of the film, dude. You're in the Force being trained by Leia. Yes, Leia is actually a Jedi Master. Now, here's the beauty. By the end of the film, you find out that Leia never completed her training to become a Jedi. So how the fuck is she training Rey if she herself didn't complete the training? No sense. That's like taking a couple guitar lessons and now you're a guitar teacher.
Maybe she was like red belt and not exactly black belt yet.
Whatever, who knows? I don't think that... Oh, and the CGI for Leia's face when they tried to like de-age her and Mark Hamill. Like, at least Mark Hamill's a little bit more believable. But de-aging a dead woman is quite creepy.
It looked that bad.
It was pretty bad. It looked like a deep fake video you find on YouTube. It was just a fuck snack, dude. Anyway, Leia is now training whatever the fuck her name is, Rey. Rey is floating in the air while spinning rocks and shit. She's doing crap you didn't even see Master Yoda do. That's how amazing Rey is. And she's trying to force FaceTime with dead Jedis. Ironically, Leia is training her to be a Jedi, and she's dead. You know, so I found that part quite humorous. I was like, that's funny. She's trying to talk to dead Jedis, and she's talking to dead Carrie Fisher right now. Brilliant. Nobody at the screenplay or writing stopped and thought to themselves, this might be in poor taste.
This might be a little insensitive.
Yeah, I know.
They should have got Michael Jackson, a hologram Michael Jackson.
At this, it did look like hologram Michael Jackson at one point with Leia.
Oh, God. I have a question for you.
Hit me.
If you never, if you're the average sort of normie and you watch this, do you think it's even enjoyable as, if you just, watch it just because it's a movie?
I think, judging from all the blue check marks that saw the movie and praised it for being absolutely amazing.
No, but see, blue check marks
they can't be trusted, okay.
I'm talking about, you football on Saturday, Sunday, and then the dude's like, oh, let's go watch the Star Wars. Star Wars has laser guns and light swords.
I don't think...
on DSP.
I don't think, thank you, Mark, that a dude who watches football on Saturday and Sunday is going to be getting, all revved up to watch this brand of Star Wars.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, is it at least a decent action movie?
No, but there are a lot of scenes that are just very well shot. There's a lot of lights and flashes. Actually, if you suffer from epilepsy, it is recommended you don't see the film. Literally, Disney says that shit on this fucking movie. So it gives you an idea of how many flashing lights you see in JJ's little flick. Jesus Christ. Maybe if you were totally, completely 100% oblivious to Star Wars, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know what to say because I can't really say much. Like, I have no interest in watching this movie. I don't know why people so subject themselves to this movie, knowing it's probably bad. It's like people want to be disappointed. They like go in, they're like, "This movie's probably gonna be bad." It's like, "Yep, this movie was bad." Time to complain on Twitter about it.
Yeah, I don't understand the thought process. I got a hold of a screener, so I didn't have to go to the movies.
Oh, lucky you.
What else is there? I wrote down some points. Rey is the best starfighter in all of the Rebellion, by the way. Which makes no sense. Like this Poe Dameron dude, he's the best jet fighter. That's what you thought for a while for the Rebellion. He shows up to talk to Rey, and he's yelling at her, and they have this horrible dialogue that's supposed to be interesting and funny and combative. And, oh my God, you dropped a tree on the little robot BB-8. And BB-8's there to replace fucking poor R2-D2, which makes no sense. Why do we need new droids? Merchandising, you homo. Oh, please forgive me there, Disney. It was just, like, ridiculous.
So let me get this straight. I've not watched this movie. Rey so far is a
Jesus.
Jedi Master. Jedi Master without any Jedi training. She got taught by someone, or at least had very little training, got taught by someone who also wasn't a Jedi Master, or not a Jedi at all, as far as I know.
Well, she's a Jedi now because they said so.
Oh, okay. She is one of the best what is it?
She's the best pilot in all the Rebellion.
Like, what I'm guessing also no pilot training, considering she lived on, a sand planet?
Well, she flew the Millennium Falcon like 3 times, and that was all she needed.
She's also an expert mechanic.
Yes.
Because she, I don't know.
I don't know either. It's hard to make heads or tails of. Oh, and Palpatine's back from the dead.
How did he survive? Like, how did they justify that?
I think the story now outside of the film, because in order to get the full story, you got to be told this bullshit now, is that Palpatine had a clone that died at the end of Return of the Jedi. I know, but it doesn't explain why Palpatine's fingers were cooked to the fucking bone. Like, if the clone died shooting lasers from his hands and falling down a pit, why the fuck is the one that's not cloned have burned up hands?
That's the weakest excuse. I'm sorry.
And Snoke is also created by Palpatine now.
Who is Snoke?
The one that Kylo Ren killed real quickly. He was the evil bad guy for the last 2 films, and then Kylo Ren killed him, like, in an instant, cut him in half. It was, like, the most anticlimactic shit ever. So they brought back Palpatine because they don't have a real bad guy, and let's face it, this Andrew, whatever the fuck his name is, the guy who plays Kylo Ren, he's a shitty villain. He sucks.
Okay, but, like, I think, that could also be, like, a small issue, because, I mean, I could see sort of Disney not being able to win this, at least from what I know, or at least from my point of view, is that if they make something new, it's always going to be like, oh, this is not interesting, this is merchandising, whatever. But if they just rehash old stuff, then it's like, Disney's not creative, Disney's not original, Disney's lost everything,
Here's the problem. If that was the case, then people hate The Mandalorian.
That's a good point. So
here's the thing.
Because they still use Baby Yoda, quote unquote.
Well, we don't know what Yoda's species is, because technically Yoda's species still has not been named. And they're very powerful in the Force. That was always established. Anyway, the problem Disney had was they didn't know what to do. So they basically went back, pulled all the nostalgia characters, and then systematically killed them off while trying to replace them with a new group of people we're supposed to care about. By the end of the film, it was like we had a bargain bin version of the original cast, except Rey was everyone. Luke was the Jedi, Leia was the brains, Han was the ace pilot, Chewie was Chewie. Now it's like Rey's the brains, Rey's the Jedi, Rey's the mechanic, Rey's the ace pilot, Rey's everything. And everybody else is like a background
black guy.
Yeah, the token black guy who you don't remember, but he's there. John Boyega, Mexican man, Chewie.
Chewie. Why did they kill Chewie?
Thank God they didn't kill Chewie. He was the only one I cared about by the end of the film. Like when Leia died and Chewie was screaming, I was like, my God, that man in the fur costume is selling it to me, baby. Oh, by the way, at the beginning of the film, Kylo Ren finds the stupid cube to meet the Emperor, and he kills off a whole bunch of characters that look like fucking Bloodhound from Apex Legends. So that was an interesting scene. I was like, Kylo Ren is killing Bloodhound's people. Take that, you non-binary fucks. He then sees the Emperor. The Emperor promises him a legion, and literally, dude, thousands of Death Stars or Star Destroyer ships, whatever, they like just burst out of the ground.
Now, see that is just strange to me, because if one day Hitler just showed up out of the blue with like, you know, a full like fledged tank battalion, everyone would be like, how did we not see this?
The Waften SS just immediately climb out of the ground, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like, how did nobody notice this, you know? I didn't know Argentina could hold this many tanks. I'm pretty sure some like a spy plane would have probably like, that's a lot of metal together.
And there's no explanation as to how he had the money and the resources to create these ships and shit, because the Empire was totally defeated at Return of the Jedi. That's what makes the First Order stupid. How the fuck did they come back? Oh, no explanation, though, because these guys don't have any ideas. What the fuck else was there? They went to Burning Man. Forced FaceTiming with Kylo Ren. Apparently, like, Kylo Ren and Rey can talk to each other, and then they can, like, leave each other shit, dude. It makes no sense.
It's like, what?
It doesn't make sense. I can't even explain it to you. That's stupid. It's like they'll talk to each other through the Force, and all of a sudden, they'll be together. They'll be in the same room somehow. Then they had a lightsaber duel. She's like on a planet. He's on the fucking Death Star or something. How is this working? And then he just snatches beads off of her chest. She gets out of the Force FaceTime, and he's like on a ship in space. It's like, what the fuck are they doing? This doesn't make sense. It's not how the Force works. The Force isn't a wormhole.
I think a lot of people they're just like, oh, the Force is magic, so they can do magical stuff.
Yeah, they're like literally they're fucking the Force up.
So like, from what I've also heard is that Rey can Force heal.
Yes.
Is a Force fighter.
She's Force Jesus.
She's Force Jesus.
She like falls into a sand dune with all the other people you don't care about. They brought back C-3PO. Thank God, I guess. And then the fans demanded he die. Well, the new fans, they wanted C-3PO dead because he badmouthed the film a little bit. They wanted the old man to die, which I thought was funny. Okay, they fall in some sand dune after fighting jet troopers. You know, the famous "they fly now" scene. It's as if J.J. Abrams has paid absolutely no attention to Star Wars, and he realized jetpack troopers have been around for like 10, 15 years. Ever since Star Wars Battlefront 2, the original. They fall in the sand dune, they go through quicksand, they're in tunnels, and then they come up on a snake. And she like gets the snake to stop getting ready to attack them, and for some reason, it's listening to her. She becomes Steve Irwin. She's the fucking crocodile hunter, dude.
Look at this size of this snake.
Yeah, look at this, mate. I'm going to heal your fucking wounds. And she goes over there, heals the snake's wounds. The snake goes all chill like, whoa, bro, that was awesome. And then he leaves. And then you just find a Sith dagger. And C-3PO can lead them to where the Emperor is. Everything is so weirdly paced and coincidental. Oh, and there's this hilarious scene, right? After they get the Force dagger, dude, this is great. They go to the ship because they can't go to the Millennium Falcon. That's where Kylo Ren will be to catch Rey. We're going to use this dead guy ship. Okay, makes sense. The black guy sends Chewie outside to go get Rey, who has to go do something by herself. Obviously, a showdown with Kylo Ren. Chewbacca gets fucking arrested. Poor bastard. It was like he was black in a white neighborhood. They got Chewie so fast it wasn't funny. They throw Chewie on a transport. The black guy comes out. I want to call him Poe, but that's not his name. He's like, oh no, they're taking Chewie. Rey, they're taking Chewie. Then she's like in this running scene with Kylo Ren. She flips over his jet, cuts it in half. The thing rolls over and explodes. Kylo Ren walks out without fucking scratch. I'm like, this is bullshit, dude. I crashed a motorcycle slower than that, and I was more fucked up than Kylo Ren. Like, you guys are retarded.
He had the Force.
I guess
so.
The
Force?
I certainly felt the force of gravity of beating my ass. Now, he learns Force healing after she does it to him later in the movie. Just by her doing
Force healing? How does that work?
It's like being Jesus, literally.
I mean, like, I could understand force, push, and pull, like force, like actual, like a force,
Yeah.
force is mass and acceleration.
Well, it's life force.
Oh, life? Oh, okay.
J.J. Abrams came up with it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm not joking.
Kind of wish you were now.
Okay, so she gets into, like, they don't even fight. They're, like, standing there looking at each other. The black guy's like, they're taking Chewie, Rey! Then the transport starts flying, and Rey throws her hands out, and she starts pulling the transport back. Then Kylo Ren throws his hands out, and he's forcing it. So they're, like, force pushing, pulling the fucking transport ship. I'm sitting there like, the poor bastards inside are probably motion sick by now. And it goes on for far too long, and all of a sudden, she gets angry for some reason. And then force lightning shoots out of her hands while force pulling, which are two totally different force powers. But J.J. Abrams doesn't know that because he doesn't know shit about Star Wars. So for some reason, her force pull becomes force lightning and explodes the transport ship, killing everyone inside.
Is it Chewie on the ship?
Exactly. She freaks out and squeezes out a tear. Chewie's dead. They all run and get on the ship. Kylo Ren's looking like, oh, you have the power of Emperor Palpatine, but I'll tell you in Act 4. They hop on a ship and somehow find out Chewie isn't dead. Probably because Rey used the Force to feel Chewie's life force. It made the transport ship got there, right? But there wasn't a second transport ship. There's only one coming from behind that rock. Like, what? Did they, like, know she's going to force lightning it? So they sent two transport ships, one to get blown up and the other one to sit there? I swear to you, it's like they wrote it and then realized, oh, we need the Sith dagger. And we'll just bring back Chewie because we can't kill any more non-dead characters. Carrie Fisher's dead. It just made no sense. I think that was one of the reshot scenes because they kept reshooting up until literally the film was supposed to be out in the movie theaters. So they go off in space. They get on the oh, no, they don't. They go to some stupid planet. They talk to one of J.J. Abrams' friends. Like, literally, it's some chick who's in the movie for, like, 5 minutes. She's some famous broad we don't even really know about. She does acting, and she's a friend of J.J. Abrams. They give her a role. It isn't interesting. There's some sort of character arc where she and Poe dated, and she hates him, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, it's, like, resolved, and she gives him a medallion that helps them get onto any ship. They get on the fucking ship, and stormtroopers show up. They're like, we need to see ID. They just come out and start shooting everybody because that makes sense. You know, just start a war inside of the ship. It's like they took ideas from A New Hope, but they didn't do any of the pacing of a story. They just went to attacks. They run around. There's a big fight scene. Every stormtrooper can't shoot for shit. A female stormtrooper got shot and died, which led to a feminist on Twitter becoming upset and saying that, and I quote, I just happen to have it, I wrote this piece because I cannot overstate how dangerous it is when films like The Rise of Skywalker romanticize abusive dynamics and perpetuate myths that only serve to benefit abusers and objectify the victims from overreaching clarity and freedom. Hashtag. Thank you.
There's a point. Every time I see a woman die in a movie and I'm on a date, I beat the woman up.
Good work.
He's like, this is allowed.
I am Kylo Ren. But Kylo Ren never beat up Rey. They just had, like, sword fights. When did he ever beat Rey? The most abusive thing you could probably say is he snatched some beads off of her neck. God have mercy, the patriarchy is unstoppable. So they rescue Chewie. Then finally, one stormtrooper shoots Poe. He's Mexican. I guess he could take it. They get arrested. I know, right? Like, the funny thing is, like, one shot in the arm, a stormtrooper dies. Poe gets shot in a shirt, and he's fine. They get arrested. Kylo Ren tells Rey she's Palpatine's granddaughter. That's when the feminists cried on the floor about men. Then, all of a sudden, I can't remember, somehow they escape. Yeah, they get help by one of the infiltrators who's a spy. They escape. They're literally in the upper atmosphere of a planet where there's probably no oxygen. Rey jumps off the ship where there's no oxygen, and Poe is screaming. And nobody's dying from not breathing. It was just getting stupid. My God. It's so hard to try and remember this movie. I guess they ran out of money to put Leia's face on some other actress's body. So they finally let that old bitch die.
Was this a scene where she goes like flying through space? I still found that the funniest shit, dude.
No, they seem to have less crazy electronics for her in this film, probably because she's dead. Rey and Kylo Ren get on a fight on some planet. I'm skipping forward because I don't care to remember the film.
I need to go take a piss, and I'm just listening to you.
They go to this planet. They fight on the wreckage of the Death Star, and Leia has to contact her son using the Force.
The Death Star like just
completely
explode?
Destroyed in space. Completely destroyed. There's nothing left but sparks. Somehow, a large portion of the Death Star is like on the Ewok planet, I'd assume, or nearby one. And the Emperor's chair isn't destroyed. There's a lot of shit that's perfectly fine. The doors are still working, which makes no sense.
Powered by solar energy.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my fucking god. She then confronts herself inside of one of the rooms as a Sith. It was anticlimactic. It was a split second. Literally, they were taking a scene from Empire Strikes Back where Luke goes in the tree and blah, blah, blah. J.J. Abrams, no ideas. She fights with Kylo Ren. Leia's like, I have to contact my son. And then that little weird old lady with the big eyes or tiny eyes, I don't know, the bitch who had Luke's lightsaber for some. She's like, the princess is going to do this to save her son with the last bit of power, but it will cost her life, conveniently, because Carrie Fisher's fucking dead. And the whole scene, you never see Carrie Fisher's face. You just see like her silhouette in darkness. You know, like an old lady's hands and shit. She calls out to her son. He turns around and looks. And then for some reason, Rey just decides to kill him, which seemed out of character. It's like he's standing, Kylo Ren's standing there looking back for his mother, and Rey just grabs his lightsaber while he's standing there looking like a retard and stabs him. I'm like, that was out of character for Rey, considering she's been trying to save this asshole for the past 2 films. Then she realizes Leia's dead, and the only thing this Daisy Ridley knows how to do convincingly is cry. So she cries again. Yeah, like every woman, right?
Well, I was about to say that Rey's on the light side, and it's a pretty light thing to do, you know? Just murder an unarmed man, quote unquote.
Another man looking back at his non-existent dead mother.
Mom, I got you now, bitch.
Exactly.
I win. Suck it.
Then she like starts crying. Kylo Ren's sitting there, I guess squeezing out tears for his mother. She force heals him, then hops on his ship and flies away. And then goes to the planet Luke was hiding on. Then she throws Luke Skywalker's fucking lightsaber in the wreckage. She's going to hide in the planet. Luke Skywalker comes as a Force Ghost. And apparently now Force Ghosts can hold shit. Which makes no sense. He gives her some speech about being a Jedi. Suck me off, it sucks. He helps her get off the planet by pulling the X-Wing out of the water, a la Yoda, Empire Strikes Back.
Out of ideas.
Exactly. Oh my god. They do this. She hops the ship. She has the Sith holocron from Kylo Ren. She then leads the entire group of asshole rebellions to the secret Sith planet. Poe and the black guy share general duties because Leia's dead. Everyone goes, oh my god, we have friendship and family. We're going to fight to stop the evil empire yet again. Blah, blah, blah. There's a couple scenes with the dude from the movie Lord of the Rings. He's one of the hobbits you don't give a shit about. Exactly. Okay. He's also J.J. Abrams' friend, so they put him in the movie for the fuck of it. Ironically, he had more screen time than Rose Tico. So now the social justice warriors on Twitter are having a conniption.
Didn't everyone hate Rose?
Yeah. Everyone except the social justice warriors on Twitter. I mean, nobody's even buying the chick's toys. Nobody's buying crap with Rose on it, so Disney had to take her likeness off of images to sell more merch, and people are getting pissed. Like, hello, it's a business, you assholes. Did they think of a fuck about you? How many times?
The Star Wars crap is so crappy, I'm gonna take a piss. I'll be right back.
Let's just skip ahead. Long story short, Rey goes to the Emperor. Typical Star Wars. They start to turn the battle and take out the Empire, but the Empire's too strong. Then Kylo Ren shows up to help Rey fight the Emperor. They use Force FaceTime for her to give Kylo Ren a lightsaber from behind her back or some shit to his back while he's fighting the Knights of Ren. Another group of characters that made no sense. They're even in the film. Literally like 4 or 5 dudes in black who walk around occasionally looking for Rey. They served absolutely no purpose. Except for a boring fight scene at the end of Kylo Ren. He defeats them. They try to take on the Emperor. The Emperor is just so strong, he force holds them and shakes them up a little bit. And then somehow he sucks life force out of them. And he's like, oh, the life force, it hasn't been seen for generations because it's new. And he sucks youth out of the young people to get back his youth. And then at one point, he points up at the sky. And then he says he's going to do to Skywalker what the Skywalkers did to him. He throws Kylo Ren down a pit. Then he shoots force lightning from his fingers, dude.
But how would he know? It was his clone.
I know, see? See the bullshit?
I guess he could know, but like it wouldn't be like,
Exactly.
If somebody beat up my doppelganger, I'd be like, whatever.
You wouldn't even know. So basically that has to confirm that it was Palpatine that survived. So then he throws his hands up in the air and does force lightning so powerful that it starts destroying the rebellion ships in the air, dude. And I'm sitting here like, how is he this powerful? It makes no sense. Then while Rey is on the ground crying because the rebellion is being electrocuted, the entire big ships are being blown up. This motherfucker's like a typhoon hitting the coast of Florida. Then she starts repeating "be with me" over and over again. The camera pans to her face, and all of a sudden you hear all the Jedi actors from all the previous Star Wars films telling Rey to get up and saying inspirational bullshit about the path of a Jedi. And I'm sitting there like, damn, they even got Samuel L. Jackson to do this shit. She gets up. Quick dialogue with her and Palpatine. He shoots force lightning at her. She blocks it with one lightsaber. And he says some other bullshit I can't remember. At this point, I was kind of like weaving in and out of consciousness. She puts her hand behind her back, pulls another lightsaber, and he goes, I have all the power of thousands of Siths inside of me. And she goes, I have all the power of the Jedi. Does an X with the lightsaber, because X is going to give it to you. The force lightning...
Oh, that part. Yeah, I know.
Goes through the lightsaber and then whiffs back at Palpatine. And instead of Palpatine stopping force lightning, he keeps going. So now he's electrocuting himself into nothingness, and then he explodes like the Death Star. Literally. Then the entire...
Is there any, parts of him that are okay? Like the previous Death Star?
It's all gone. Like the previous Death Star.
Well, the next movie, half his torso will be okay, and he's only got a scratch on his cheek.
Exactly. Maybe there'll be one of the clone snooks will escape its jar or some shit and come back.
How do we know this is not a clone?
We don't know. Odds are we'll know when Disney's deciding to shit out another movie.
Palpatine's gonna come back again.
Then the whole place starts collapsing in on itself, and there's a whole bunch of Sith there apparently. There's a coliseum. It made no sense at all. Falls apart. Everything's ruined. Rey apparently used up all of her life to shoot force lightning back at him, but it certainly didn't look like she was struggling because bad directing. She falls on the ground dead. Kylo Ren climbs out of the hole in the ground. He then uses life force to bring her back, but he isn't as good as she is. So, they're happy, they're smiling, blah, blah. They kiss, and then he falls over dead. And then he fucking disappears, dude, in her arms. Like Yoda disappeared at the end of Return of the Jedi when Luke went to complete his training. Yoda became one with the Force completely. That only happens with Master Jedis. And Yoda lived 900 years, so it made sense.
Well, there's a problem, though, with Yoda. Yoda doesn't have a vagina.
Fine. Then she gets out, she escapes. Oh, and I think the black guy can use the Force too, kind of, because he could tell that Rey had died for a minute till Kylo Ren saved her. She gets in Luke Skywalker's X-Wing. Everyone celebrates. Oh my God, she's alive. They go back to the planet. Chewie gets a medal. And the funny thing is, Kylo Ren died, and she was over it so quick it wasn't funny. He died, she got over it, got on the plane, she celebrated with everybody, she's totally fine. She's like cool as a cucumber, like nothing happened. Then at the very end of the film, she goes to where Luke Skywalker grew up on Tatooine at the moisture farm for God knows what reason.
Okay.
She then takes Luke's and Leia's lightsabers and she buries them. Yeah, Leia has lightsabers. She's Jedi Master now.
What?
Exactly. She buries them, and now she created her own lightsaber, but nobody explains where she learned how to build a lightsaber. And hers is yellow, which I believe yellow is the Jedi Sentinel, but I don't think Abrams knows that shit. Some old lady comes out and goes, "There's been no one here for years. Who are you?" And then Rey goes, "I'm Rey," looks around, and then all of a sudden the Force ghosts of Luke Skywalker and Leia show up. Oh, Leia's body also disappeared with the Force when Ben died. Or Kylo Ren. They show up smiling at her. Leia's young again. Mark Hamill's still old. It doesn't make any sense. And then she goes, and then Rey turns to the old lady and goes, "I'm Rey Skywalker." Then this triumphant music plays, and they recreate the scene where Luke stands at the Twin Suns, except with Rey and BB-8. And then the movie ends. And I was just like, Jesus fucking Christ. Why did she even go to a moisture farm?
Beautiful.
It's a great film. The best part is watching Kylo Ren fans freak out over it.
I could see why you didn't like it. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much did you want to take a shit after?
I can't remember what I was thinking when I finished watching the film. Actually, I do. I was like complaining about everything that was wrong. And then it's just like, yeah, I'm done with this. I really don't have any words for it. It's nicely shot. It has cool lights. There's so many stupid things, like the fact that, oh, interesting. YouTube just scrubbed hundreds of subscribers from my channel.
All right.
Like, wipe 500 off me. Anyway.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I guess they're not doing as bad as Dr. Mahler or something. He lost 5,000. YouTube is up to something, I swear.
Videos are, but yeah, continue.
I forgot my point. What was I saying?
I don't remember.
Me either. Just like this film. If I didn't write some of this shit down, I remembered absolutely nothing. The only thing that's come good out of this Star Wars movie is the anger from the Rilo fans. It's kind of funny. The fact that I'm hoping Kathleen Kennedy will be fired, but I doubt it because this movie has made $500 million worldwide, surprisingly.
It's one of those things that you just want to feel, but because everybody wants to see it burn, that everyone actually pays money for it.
Exactly. It's like DSP.
Pretty much. Like me buying you that t-shirt.
Exactly. Like, if everybody stopped giving him money just to see the shit show keep going, it would end. Like Oni-san right now. Everyone's like, oh, Oni-san's ruined. It's over. Like, no, you idiots. Chris Hansen has only made it worse. Chris Hansen doing videos on Oni-san and interviewing all the girls he, sexually groomed or some shit. The only thing it did was put a spotlight back on Oni-san. Before, his channel would get, if he was lucky, 10K views a video. Now he's up to 250K minimum each video. The only thing these assholes have done is given him new life.
Well, Kathleen Kennedy is going to make a brand new Star Wars movie. How about that?
I hope not.
With 500 million, it's a success.
I think it has to hit $1 billion before they consider it a full success.
Anything else you want to add?
Not that I can remember. This film is horrible. It's trash. It does absolutely nothing to please anyone. I mean, the whole Kylo Ren and Rey kiss was an attempt to make those Rilo fans happy, and the only thing they succeeded in doing was pissing them off some more because the movie didn't turn into 50 Shades of Grey afterwards. You know?